This is the Raiders Daily.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the number one Raiders show in the world. This is the Raiders Daily Podcast. I am Steven Michaels. Let's go over the last preseason game against the Rams. It was pretty much a bunch of scrubs out there. The Raiders got all their work in for the scrimmage, and John Gruden was not going to start any of his starters because the Rams were simply going headhunting. In case you missed the game, they clearly were going headhunting. They tried to take out Nathan Peterman with a helmet-to-helmet, which there was no flag, by the way. And a lot of guys got hurt. Javon Wright got hurt for the Raiders. Too many injuries. They have a lot of injuries at that linebacker spot. The Raiders are going to have to sign a linebacker. There's no choice at this point. They have to. Now, I think they will be fine with the guys they have. If Kwiatkowski's, okay, ready to go. You got Corey Littleton. They'll be okay with the linebackers they have. But the depth is the big issue there. They need guys. They really do. So, obviously, KJ Wright is out there. He visited the Raiders. He wants money, more money now, especially considering Seattle now needs a linebacker. His price just went up. The Raiders had Matt Barron, I believe his name is, visiting. They're going to sign a linebacker eventually. That will happen. They need to sign one. They have no choice. Now, as far as the game went, like I said, the Rams, they've been all pissed off now since the scrimmage. The Raiders went there and they dominated. I know some reporters who used to cover the Rams don't want to, admit to that, even though they're on the Raiders payroll and they're employees of the Raiders. They're really, really upset about it. I mean, they even get upset when someone posts the meme on Twitter. That's insane. Calm down there, Jesus. Whew. But anyways, Jay Glazer's, the wannabe Jay Glazer was really upset. But listen, it is what it is. And he can say, well, I was there. Okay, Press Badger, you were there. But guess what? There's videos. I know people are there. I know players that are there. And the Raiders dominated. Hunter Renfrow just completely dominated. Jalen Ramsey did not have a good practice. It's okay. He didn't do terrible. It's just the Raiders' weapons on offense were more explosive than the Rams could handle. Their starting unit. And the Rams were embarrassed, and they wanted to hurt the Raiders. And that's why John Gruden did not start anyone he thought they really, really needed. And they did that. There was no starters. There was not even Marcus Mariota. No Marcus Mariota in this game. John Gruden said it was, I believe, because of a quad sprain or something like that. It's probably BS, to be honest. I don't think there's nothing wrong with the guy. He just doesn't want to show a lot of Marcus Mariota. Because chances are we're going to see Marcus Mariota in a lot of different packages this season, now that he's fully healthy. But other than that, taking a look at the backups, some guys who may make it, who may not make it. Guys who I think may not make it, that I thought would when training camp started, are guys like Nevin Lawson. He's out there way too long. You can kind of tell who's not going to make the team if they're out there during a fourth quarter of a preseason game. That's just the way it goes. If you've been following football, that's just the way it goes. If you're out there during fourth quarter of preseason, you're not likely to make the team. So, and I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think Nevin Lawson sucks, to be honest. So, I hope he doesn't make the team. I really don't, because I don't think he's any good. I think everyone who watches the Raiders, we all got to see enough of Nevin Lawson. I also find it interesting that Quentin Farrell is out there for so long. And, that's pretty much, in my opinion, a jab at Mike Mayock. I don't believe Mike Mayock is going to last very long. I really don't. His picks haven't really turned out to be much, to be honest. So, that's something to look out for. It really is, down the line. Now, also this isn't even Raider news. I don't know if I should even talk about this. Someone posted a story that the Raiders reached out to the Bears about Khalil Mack. Well, guess what? So did 7 other teams. That's the reality. And there wasn't, no offers were made, nothing. It happened 5 months ago. Nobody cares. If you people knew the amount of players that teams call about, people would be going crazy. But to put that article out now, 5 months later, when, let's be honest here, this reporter knows the same thing I know, teams reach out to a bunch of players. A bunch. Don't forget the Raiders they were talking with Tom Brady. You know, I mean, come on. It's stupid. To bring it up 5 months later is nothing but a clickbait, subscribe to my website type BS, and you know it and I know it. Nobody cares. The Raiders simply made a phone call. They didn't make an offer asking if it was true, if they were shopping Khalil Mack, since it was rumored that they were shopping Khalil Mack. But guess what? The Raiders got their guy in Yannick Ngakoue. That is the reality. That's the reality of the situation. It's a non-story. For some reason, people are trying to make that to a story. It's just stupid. So I'm not even going to cover it here because it's so dumb. It really is. It's the dumbest story. It has to be the dumbest story of the year. It's a 5-month-old story that from a phone call that lasted all of 12 seconds. Nobody was serious on either side. So it's just dumb. So anyways, back to the preseason, back to this Raiders team. I think we have a good idea who will be the starters as far as the wide receivers. I mean, obviously you got Henry Ruggs. You got Bryan Edwards, who I expect to have a really big year this season. You got Hunter Renfrow, and then, those are your big 3. Then after that, I would assume Zay Jones and maybe Willie Snead. I don't know. Willie Snead's playing a lot in preseason. Zay Jones is too, but someone's got to take the other spot. There's going to be another wide receiver. I really highly doubt it's going to be Marcel Aitman. Remember, this is preseason, and I think it's very important to tell you guys, or remind everyone, that during preseason, someone could have a monster game, be fantastic. At the end of the day, that guy is not going to take someone's job just because he's beating up on guys who are going to be watching football like us on a couch on Sundays in a month. That's the reality. I mean, let's go through the list here. Remember Chris Warren, Keon Hatcher, just so many of these guys that look great in preseason, and everyone thought, they're going to start for the Raiders. Then they get cut, or they get put on the practice squad, and then you never hear about them again. I have a feeling that might happen with Trey Ragas, by the way. Everyone likes him right now because he's the only running back out there. Maybe that's why. But I don't know if he's actually going to make the team, but we don't know what's going to happen with Jalen Richard. In my opinion, the Raiders should cut Jalen Richard because he really hasn't done anything for this team at all this whole offseason. I mean, he really hasn't. So there's really no point of keeping him. But the reason why I might consider keeping him, even though he's $3 million, is because I'm a little bit worried about Alex Leatherwood. He's up and down. He really goes up and down. And we need this guy to protect all game long. Because this offense has too many weapons. This offense has a lot of speed. You got Kenyon Drake. The Raiders don't want to show too much of him because they don't only show too much of him to the media. The media has no idea what John Gruden's going to do with Kenyon Drake. Because you don't trust half of them, because they'll probably go back to the Rams or somewhere else and tell them, oh yeah, the Raiders were working on this. I wouldn't trust them either. That's why they're not allowed to videotape a lot of things that happen during a scrimmage. Because nobody trusts them. That's why. But, we'll see what happens with all of that. But Kenyon Drake, he's going to be a weapon. Josh Jacobs is healthy. He's going to be a weapon. Remember, you still got Darren Waller. He's going to be a weapon. So, we shall see. But anyways, for this second preseason game, like I said, it was just all pretty much, I would say 95% guys who scrubs, basically. So at wide receiver, you had Zay Jones starting, you had Keelan Doss starting, which, by the way, that might be the end of Keelan Doss because he had a tip pass, or Nathan Peterman threw a pass to him. He tipped it up in the air and got picked off. That's not good. Nathan Peterman's been starting both of these games, these preseason games. I think he's looked pretty good. This game, he got beat up a little bit. He really did. The offensive line, especially in the second half, he was getting knocked around a lot. He really was. But you know what? This guy, he looks a lot better than he did in Buffalo. He was always going to be a work in progress. I would keep Nathan Peterman if I'm the Raiders for one more season. And then, of course, running back, like I said, you got Trey Ragas starting. Zay Jones, Keelan Dawson, Willie Snead were out there. Now, Willie Snead's an interesting one. Does he make this team? He's going to be a wild card. We don't know. At tight end, they start Derek Carrier. He'll probably make the team. I don't know why, but he'll probably make the team just for special teams, I'm guessing. Offensive line, you had Brandon Parker out there. Lester Cotton, he needs some work. Nick Martin, he's terrible. John Simpson and Alex Leatherwood, they all started. They went 3 and out, by the way, to start the game, which is never good. But other than that, their first team, when they first went out there for defense, they had Quentin Farrell out there. Darius Philon, who, by the way, is making waves. I mean, he's looked good so far. He really has. He's looked good. Solomon Thomas and Carl Nassib. Carl Nassib, he's another one. He's I don't know what to do. And then you got linebacker Javin White, like I said. He got injured. Tanner Muse and Arzmar Bilal, whatever the hell his name is. Another guy you're never going to hear of because he's going to be cut. At cornerback, Keyshawn Nixon started a game. Will he make the team? We shall see. And then Douglas, who got cut yesterday, so we know he ain't making a team. Jonathan Abram, they want to throw him out there in coverage, obviously. He's going to make the team. They just want to see what he can do in coverage. And obviously the starter, Trayvon Moehrig, who has been the best rookie so far out of the Raiders, at least during camp. So anyways, Abram and Moehrig, they're going to be probably the only starters beside, on defense that played in this game. So, and they just wanted to see what Abram would do, in coverage and Bradley's system and all that stuff. But the guy, that really made the biggest impression is Nate Hobbs. He was on the first team. He played in a nickel. And he has a shot to win this job. He really does. He really, really does. Quentin Jefferson played a couple of snaps, I believe. And he's going to be a starter. So we shall see. Like I said, it is weird Clinton Farrell's been out there so much. It really is. It's weird. It is weird. But he's playing, he's looked okay. He's made some plays. But he's also playing against backups. He's not playing against the best of the best. So that's something we need to keep our eyes out for. We need to see him play the best of the best. Same thing with Nate Hobbs, by the way. Everyone's giving Nate Hobbs all this credit, and he should. He's been balling out. You don't choose who you play against, but you are playing against backups. You are playing against guys who, like I said, probably are not going to make the Rams roster, not going to make Seattle's roster, you name it. But this guy has been balling out, and he deserves, in my opinion, a spot on this active roster. He really does. I hope the Raiders do the right thing and keep him. I believe he received the game ball for the game, and he deserved it. He got an interception. He played very, very well in this game. He played very well. And when you look at a defense against the Rams, he's definitely the guy that everyone looked after. Everyone was looking out. Dalian Levitt, by the way, I know he made the big play for the Raiders to win a preseason game. But other than that, before that, he was missing tackles and he was getting beat all the time. He sucks. I don't know, throw him on special teams or cut him. The guy should not ever, ever be playing defense in a regular game. He just should not. I mean, that's like asking Eric Harris to be your safety again, or, some Jeff Heath. Don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, at least with Jeff Heath or Eric Harris, I can say you can rotate them every once in a while. With Dalian Levitt, I would not have this guy. I want him off the field if defense is on. I don't want him nowhere near the defense because the guy sucks. I mean, there's no other way around it. I know people are going to make a big deal because, he had a big pass breakup. And that's how the Raiders won the second preseason game. Guess what? There is no winning in preseason. That's the reality. I mean, go back 2, 3, 4 years. You don't remember the Raiders' preseason record because the games don't count. They're exhibition. It means it doesn't matter who wins and loses. No one cares about the final outcome of a preseason game. They really don't. I hate to break the news to some of these people. But we shall see. Like I said, Trey Ragas for the running back for the Raiders. I believe they nicknamed him Trey Vegas. Is that what they did? But, this guy, I think he could be pretty good. I don't know, though, if he's going to make the 53-man roster. But if I had a choice between him and Jalen Richard and Trey Vegas, is that what they're calling him, can pass protect, I would keep him. Because that's the only reason why I would keep Jalen Richard is because he is good at pass protection. That's one thing he's good at. And with Leatherwood and this new offensive line, I don't need Derek Carr getting sacked every time and all of these weapons around him being wasted. That would be awful for this team. Because like I said, I mean, you can like Derek Carr or hate Derek Carr. I don't really care. I just want the guy to win, to be honest with you. I don't care that much. The only thing I care about is, hey, you got paid $120 million. It's time to win, get into the playoffs. That's my only gripe with Derek Carr. I'm not on this weird thing where fans either hate him or they love him. Or, it's all weird. At the end of the day, does anyone really care? They just want people to... I mean, everyone just wants the Raiders to win anyways. So, this guy's got to win. He's been there for 7, 8 years. The Raiders have nothing to show for it. So Derek Carr has a lot of weapons. I think the Raiders could really take any quarterback, any starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, and that person can succeed with this offense. There's no way you can't. Now, we're talking about a bunch of scrubs playing a preseason, right? I mean, like I said, most of these guys are not going to make the team. 3 guys are going to be cut again today. But let's take a look at the starting lineup and look how good they are. Like I said, you got Henry Ruggs, who's so much better than he was last season. This is a guy, his route running is better. Everything is better about this guy. He's getting out of his breaks faster. Then you got Bryan Edwards, who I think will be the best wide receiver on the team. You still got Darren Waller, who I think could be the best tight end in football. You got Kenyon Drake, who can do pretty much everything. You got a healthy Josh Jacobs. This team will be able to put up a lot of points. Derek Carr will not be asked to do that much. But if he's back there and, teams are just blitzing the hell out of the Raiders and this offensive line can't stop it, guess what? It doesn't matter who your quarterback is, especially if it's Derek Carr, because he's not a guy who scrambles very much. He's going to get killed. So Derek Carr has to play the way Tom Brady plays this season. Or, I don't know, some guy like Mac Jones, for example. What they do is they get the ball out of their hands fast. That's the way Derek Carr is going to have to play if this offensive line is shaky. Now, if they're holding up, then the sky's the limit. Derek Carr will be able to take shots down the field. If he has time to scope the field, this team will be unstoppable. They really will. And it all starts up front. Remember that. So with this, Kenyon Drake and Josh Jacobs, they'll be able to run. If this offensive line can open up holes, I really think they could be a top 5 offense. They really could. On the defensive side of the ball, obviously there's concerns there. Like I said, with the linebackers. You got Kwiatkowski. He's hurt, but he should be back. He hasn't done that well in camp. That's the reason why they signed Darren Lee. And, they've been looking for linebackers now for what? 3 weeks? So you got him. You got Corey Littleton. You had Nicholas Morrow. Now he's hurt. There's rumors he could be out, a month. So that's not good. You need to get another linebacker in there. And let me tell you something. Despite what you may have heard 3 weeks ago, that guy is not going to be Tanner Muse. Tanner Muse, he's not a starting linebacker in the NFL. He's not. He's just not. That's why he's out there in preseason games. Playing late into preseason games. If they really thought, he's going to be a starting linebacker in our system, he wouldn't be out there, in the third quarter, fourth quarter. That just wouldn't happen, a preseason. And the same thing, by the way, goes for, I hate to say because the guy got injured, but Javin White is kind of the same thing. Yeah, he had an excellent camp, but I don't think they ever believed that he was going to be a starter. I really don't. Then when you look at the secondary, there's a whole lot of questions there. Like I said, the Raiders released Douglas. What do you do with Amik Robertson? What do you do with Keyshawn Nixon? Those are guys the Raiders got to figure out because they're a little thin there as well. Especially if those guys aren't, carrying their own weight. You got Mullins, you got Hayward, I get it. You got Arnett, hopefully he's okay. You got Nate Hobbs. But then when you go past then, it starts getting a little thin back there in the secondary. Hopefully everyone can stay healthy. And then, of course, that safety, obviously, Jonathan Abram, Trayvon Moore, and Carl Joseph. Now, is Carl Joseph going to make this team? I hope so, because they need experience back there. They do. Because I personally, I know some Raider fans don't like to hear this, but I do not trust Jonathan Abram. I just don't. His tackling skills, not very good. Coverage skills, not very good. I trust Carl Joseph a lot more than Jonathan Abram. Jonathan Abram will be fine in some kind of packages, but I don't trust him to cover. I really do not trust him to cover anyone. Especially a tight end or a fullback. I think we all got to see enough of that last season when he played against the Patriots. He embarrassed me. He embarrassed you. He embarrassed everyone who roots for the Raiders. He embarrassed the coaching staff. He embarrassed himself by mocking Cam Newton only to be just made a fool of. Luckily, this season he's not running his mouth as much. The guy has talent. It's just someone has to tap into that talent. Hopefully, this is the year that happens. Gus Bradley is a good defensive coordinator, in my opinion. He's good. I don't think he's a great defensive coordinator, but I think he's a good defensive coordinator. Hopefully, he can get enough out of Jonathan Abram to make him, a guy who is a starter in the NFL because the Raiders drafted a lot of these guys. These guys got to start panning out. That's why I said I don't trust that Mike Mayock is going to stay very long. Think about it. Keyshawn Nixon, Amik Robertson, Jonathan Abram, Clinton Farrell, all of these guys, Mayock guys, not really working out. But this Alex Leatherwood on the offensive side, offensive line, that's going to be a true, that's going to be very telling. If this guy sucks, Mayock's gone. Now, I hope he doesn't suck because, who's going to take his place if he does start collapsing? If he can't hold up for 4 quarters. Remember, right now he's playing in preseason. He's playing against backups mostly. Once week 1 comes against the Ravens, it gets real. He's going to be playing against guys full speed. It's a little bit different than preseason. You need to win. It's going to be a lot different playing against the starting unit than the second unit or third unit. So hopefully he can, he's been playing okay right now. He's had his ups and downs, but for the most part, he's been doing his job. It's not like this guy has sucked. But like I said, he's playing against backups. So hopefully with this, they're obviously putting him out there in preseason to get adjusted to the speed of the game and get him more work. Because if they thought, hey, this guy's a shoo-in, this guy can handle anything, he wouldn't be out there during preseason. There's no way they would risk an injury to Alex Leatherwood if they felt 100% confident that this guy will be able to handle himself. No. Instead, they want him to get work in. They want him to experience the speed of the game. Even if it's against scrubs, they still want that experience for him. And hopefully that pays off. It sucks we didn't get to see Marcus Mariota. But like I said, I think that's by design. I don't think we're going to see him against the 49ers either, to be honest. I don't think we're going to see any starters against 49ers. There's no point, really. If you really, really think about it, what's the point of playing any of the starters in the last preseason game and risking any kind of injury? They just seen Javon White get injured. There's no point. There is no point in risking any more injuries. There's just not. There's no point. Because Javon White, like I said, there was a chance he could have made the active roster here. And they would have some kind of depth at linebacker. Now he's gone. I mean, now you're looking at Darren Lee, like I said. I think the Raiders do sign a linebacker. Maybe they do sign KJ Wright. Maybe they sign Mark Barron. I don't know. But they're going to sign someone. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. But we shall see. But so far, hey, I mean, I know it really doesn't matter. But the Raiders are 2-0 in preseason. And the Rams are 0-2. So not only did the Raiders win the scrimmage, but they also won the game. And that's a good thing. And I think John Gruden was smart about not playing any of the starters because the Rams were looking to hurt people in this game. I don't have a doubt in my mind. They were out to hurt players for the Raiders. And John Gruden recognized that really early on, especially when they had to leave scrimmage because things were getting so heated. And, you know, people are getting upset over stupid shit. Jalen Ramsey's getting mad, and it was craziness. It was absolutely craziness. You have reporters getting mad for some reason, even though they're paid employees for the Raiders, at people. I don't know, it's just weird. The whole thing was just weird. But it's over with now. We got one more preseason game to go. And then, of course, we'll wait for Monday Night Football where the Raiders take on the Ravens. We shall see. The one good thing about Week 1, and it's kind of fun for me too, I don't know what to expect. I know that offense on paper should be explosive. I know John Gruden's got to get better in the red zone. I think Kenyon Drake's going to help that a lot. If they can get better in the red zone, convert on third downs, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. They got to get better on third downs, though. They really do. I mean, I know Nathan Peterman was playing with a bunch of backups, but the Raiders were 2 for 10 against the Rams in his preseason game on third downs. You can't have that in a regular season, or you just won't win many football games. That's just the way it is. You just will not win many football games. And, you know, Nathan Peterman was 16 for 24, 172 yards. He had 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, which really weren't his fault. But still. Yeah, I mean, you gotta do better than that. You really do. The Raiders didn't have many bright. I mean, it was such a sloppy game. And the only to be honest with you, the only reason why the Raiders won this game probably was because of penalties. I mean, the Rams had 10 penalties for 84 yards. The Raiders had 4 for 45. Other than that, there's really no reason why the Raiders won this game. The Raiders had 13 first downs compared to the Rams, who had 22. The Rams had 331 total yards. The Raiders had 229, and the most telling time of possession, Raiders 24 minutes, the Rams had 35 minutes. But, like I said, it's preseason. A lot of scrubs were playing. Marcel Aitman made a touchdown pass there at the end, which is good. I don't think it's going to save his job or anything because of that terrible drop he had against Seattle. Nathan Peterman threw a perfect pass, and Aitman dropped it, and I think that seals his fate right there. And plus, they're loaded at wide receiver. They really are. They're loaded. I'll be looking forward to see who does not make it out of that wide receiver group, though. Because one of those guys are not going to make the team. One of them. We shall see who it is. But anyways, there'll be plenty of news by the time we get to that third preseason. And obviously, a couple days afterwards, when the cuts and all that stuff happen, Raiders will probably sign a linebacker very soon. So there'll be plenty of news, and I'll see you guys next week. My name is Stephen Michaels. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Football season's coming. This is the Raiders Daily.